Hi, welcome. I'm Heidi McDonald of The Beat, comicsbeat.com, and today I'm sitting with the man, the legend, the myth, the one and only Michael Rooker. Michael, how are you?
I'm good, good. Glad to be here.
Yeah, well, it's great to be talking to you. Well, I just watched this movie, and it's called Corrective Measures. It's about jail for supervillains, and I think if you were just dreamcasting, like who would be the slightly corrupt but yet somehow lovable underneath it all warden of the superhero prison, you would say it was Michael Rooker.
Overseer, please, ma'am.
Yes, overseer. Yes, that's right. Yeah. What was it? I mean, this does seem like a classic Michael Rooker role. What was it that attracted you to it?
The script was amazing. The script was amazing, and the director and the writers, everybody was like, just be open, go with it, add your own stuff. When I hear add your own stuff, I am always into that because I am always there's only been maybe a handful of scripts in my entire career where you don't want to touch. They're written so bloody well. You don't want to adjust them. You don't want to tweak them. But I'm a tweaker. I'm always like, not every take is the same. I don't mind that. And if you don't mind that, I'm your man because I love just making it better, making it, just having fun with it, having a lot of fun with it. And so that being said, the script is, of course, one of the main things when you decide that you want to do a project. Who's directing and who else is going to be in it with you. I had worked with Bruce in the past and I loved it. We had a blast. And so when I found out he was going to be doing this too, I was like, I was in. And, I love the script, love the actors. Tom is fantastic in the piece. I mean, all these actors are amazing. They bring it. They totally bring it. And there's a lot of physicality to this thing. And man, it looks really good.
Yeah.
Really good.
It's a wonderful cast, actually. I mean, it really is top notch. And you are no stranger to superheroes and comic books and all of that. And I think what I did like about this was, it relied on real practical effects. There wasn't a lot of CGI in it, and I that's a lot more fun to work with, isn't it?
That's because we had the master, Todd Masters. Todd Masters. Practical effect. Come on. He did my first movie with James Gunn, Slither.
Oh, right.
All practical. There was only maybe one little sequence, maybe two little sequences that had CGI, special effects stuff. Everything else was all practical makeup, and it was pretty amazing piece. If you haven't seen that, but this one, the same thing. Todd Masters is one of the producers. He's involved with all the makeups, all the characters. And that's another guy. I know Todd. I'd worked with him before. I was like, yeah, man, they're going to look good. Everybody's going to look real. It's all practical stuff. And that's what I liked about it as well.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, what's the difference? I mean, obviously you've done a lot of CGI fests, but, have you had to learn how to work in that way? I know it's, can be disconcerting when it first started acting against, a little green box.
It really doesn't make a big difference because actors, the main thing about us, and I think this holds true for almost every actor that I've ever met, is that we rely a lot on our imaginations. And so it doesn't matter if we're behind, there's a green screen or a blue screen or a semi truck going by. Our focus is our focus, and we use that imagination to our utmost, and especially in projects where there is not a lot of practical stuff. The CGI stuff, the blue screen stuff. You have to use your imagination even more, which is what I really enjoy. I like practical. But using your imagination and being there's this the monster's like here and it's here and the face is here. That's kind of fun for me. I like
Interesting. Yeah, I've heard different things, but that's great, fantastic. Well, you've been so great. I mean, so many roles. I'm a comic book woman, so Yondu, of course, is very near and dear to my heart. And The Walking Dead. I mean, some of your best known roles have been in these comic book stories. Have you ever read comics yourself?
I read comics a little bit when I was a kid. I got a little bit of a collection now that, and I over the years I've collected the different ones, and no, yeah, I have, and yeah, I got some of my favorites, and yeah, and some of them you don't even want to bring out of the packaging anymore. And it's
Right.
like, oh, I want to read it again, so I'm going to have to get a copy of the copy
Right.
of the copy, right?
Right.
Just to be able to go through it and page through it and lick the page and turn the page.
Oh, you're one of those. Don't be careful around comic book fans. That's a real no.
I know, but I do it anyway.
All right, this is kind of a weird question, but I wanted to ask you, as I was watching Corrective Measures, I was curious about where you filmed it, because the prison, it's a beautiful prison. I mean, it's got these great tile walls and everything. I was thinking, wow, this is pretty nice.
Subway. It looked like a subway, didn't it?
It did, right?
Yeah, but in reality, it was a youth detention center.
Oh, it was a real.
And I think it's gone back to that. They're redoing it now. I was just we shot it up in Vancouver, some in Atlanta, but the majority was in Vancouver. And there's a youth detention center there, and it's all being revamped, and they're reutilizing the facility now.
Yeah. Well, it was a great set. I mean, that app really added a lot of atmosphere to it, especially since it actually was, used.
Yeah, we didn't have to do a lot of set dressing. The bars are really there. The window, those windows, that little space in between. That the buildings are in between it. It's like you're in this little. That's where they did a lot of the fighting.
Right. Oh yeah, the little yard. Yeah, that.
Like
yeah,
a little exercise yard thing, and that really existed, and it really cool space.
Yeah, very cool stuff. I also wanted to ask you, as okay, you are of course one of the repertory players for James Gunn, and he seems to love to kill you off, doesn't he?
You know what? He enjoys that, I think. It makes him happy. I'm there for his happiness, and maybe one day we'll do something where I don't get killed off. I don't know, but he figures if he's going to kill me off, I think he feels a little guilty. He's going to kill me off, but he's going to make me an absolute star of the project. Guardians 2 was my movie. I'm sorry.
Wow.
Yes. Unbelievable, Yondu. What a role. And he wrote that so magnificently, so brilliantly. It would have been very difficult for me to mess it up, or any actor for that. But he wrote it for me with my sensibilities and my abilities, my physicalities, and kind of the way I say things and stuff like that. Well, just well done, Mr. Gunn. Thank you. And a beautiful piece, wasn't it?
Oh, I loved it. And, you mentioned earlier, though, that you like to play with scripts unless they're, so well done. And, I would assume that James Gunn scripts would be like that. But I feel like he does foster a lot of give and take on the set also.
Yeah, he does indeed. Even when the script is so well written, we still play with it. I'm Mary Poppins, yeah. We said he would holler, "Now do this, now say this, now do it this way," And I'm like, oh, okay. We chose the best one. So we did play with it, and we do play with the dialogue and especially certain moments, the goofy moment when I'm looking at I'm speaking my language. I'm speaking Yondu's language.
Right, yes.
And he's over there going, Yondu, okay, I can do that one.
Right.
We play a lot with that stuff.
Yeah. You also were in another movie, which I've been lucky enough to interview a few of the cast members, and this would be like the all-time greatest bingo card to interview them all. But in The Suicide Squad, which of course you have an amazing death in that movie. You know, your brains become the title of the film. I mean, you know, and I've heard that the filming that beach scene was unbelievable.
Is that beautiful? I laughed until tears rolled down my face that my brains become the title. And the little bird gets its comeuppance. Oh my God, that was so beautiful. The picking of the brains. I had fun preparing that too. Preparing for that, because I got to go swim and I got to practice with the pieces of fuselage, you know, and so I got to do a lot of stuff. And
you also got to have hair.
I got my hair.
Yeah, you got to have
My
hair in this role.
Deserved its own credit. Please. You know what? Me and Gunn have been friends for a while now. And I remember always telling him, I grew up with curly hair. I have curly hair. Okay. When I let it grow, it gets curly and weird and crazy. I hated it as a child. Absolutely despised my hair. I always wanted straight, long hair. And I've always wanted to go like that and flick it back and do all that kind of stuff. And he gave me straight, long hair. And isn't he beautiful? What a beautiful man. Yeah. I don't know if that's the reason that I ended up being Savant or not, but the Savant hair suited me so well. I loved it. And I had I think I had about 4 wigs. One matted, one silky, clean, shiny, one wet, you know, and that underwater scene with the hair.
Right. Yeah.
Oh man, it's beautiful stuff.
It is. I adore that movie so much. It was such a great ensemble and just such a great story and so much fun. So Michael, we have a question we love to ask people here at the Beat, and you know, you are a veteran of many Comic-Cons and fan events, you know, especially at The Walking Dead. I know, you know, you toured, you and, you know, Daryl. Yeah, you know, and I know, you know, I've read that Norman had some very strange things happen to him at cons sometime, but what is the strangest thing that's ever happened to you at a Comic-Con?
Hasn't happened yet. Anything that's happened to me at cons, I don't find them that strange at all. It's just fun. People say the darndest things. I absolutely love meeting the fans, and the kids are just marvelous. Their eyes get all saucers, just big and just like, and they want to hear the whistle. Sometimes they want to know about the knife hand as Merle, and it's just so much fun, and it's beautiful. And and being able to go to those things and experience the fans and enjoy signing autographs and doing Q&As, and I love Q&As. I love getting up on stage, and I love talking to the fans, and I love not answering questions. I mean, they ask a question and I just go off the beat. I just go off. They have no idea what they're going to get. And I love doing that too.
Yeah.
And it's just a big blast for me.
Yeah. Well, I often see people talking about how much they enjoyed meeting you at events. So, you know, you definitely, you know, seems to be a mutual thing. So, you know, Michael, you have played so many different things. Is there any kind of a dream role that you still want to play?
Yeah. There is.
Yeah.
I'll know it when I read it.
Okay. So just open to whatever comes your way.
I'm open to whatever comes my way. I love anti-heroes. I like action. I like saying it without saying it. You know, the quieter I am, usually I think some people know this, the more intense I am. And so to be able to do that on screen in a role or in a scene is it's just really good for me. I like that. And I work well that way. And I've discovered over the years that I'm actually quite the introvert. You wouldn't think it, but in reality, yeah. I mean, yeah. I'm not afraid of quiet.
Well, interesting. Well, there's not a lot of quiet in corrective measures.
No, there's not. No. Oh no.
No, there's a jail full of supervillains with superpowers, and Bruce Willis with a treasure map, a secret treasure map. So yeah, lots of conniving.
Lots of good fun stuff, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh my God, yeah.
Yeah.
Great stuff.
Well, Michael, this is great. It's really great talking to you. I really appreciate you taking the time to chat with us, and good luck in all your future endeavors. I hope you find that next thing.
Oh, I'm sure I will.
I'm sure you will too.
They just sort of pop up out of nowhere, and you're like, oh, yeah, I'll do that.
Well, do you think you'll ever appear as Yondu again?
Well, I don't think so. Because it's kind of nice to have movies where when something happens, it stays happen.
Yeah.
That's important. And I think that's what Gunn was all about when he wrote Yondu's death. It's like there's consequences, even in Marvel movies, even in super sci-fi movies. And that's pretty cool. You don't see that a lot.
Right.
And now, especially nowadays where everyone all of a sudden they're in
the multiverse.
It changes. Now, don't get me wrong. That may happen. I don't know, but nobody's approached me on it.
Right,
so,
right.
And I'm fine with it. So
yeah. He had a great run.
Indeed, it would be a beautiful run. That was like what a great role.
Yeah, but I'll warn you. Now everybody's into these multiverse things. There's a multiverse. So
indeed.
Hey,
bring it on! Ching, ching, ching.
Right. Awesome. All right. Well, Michael Rooker, coming to you in a multiverse very soon. Thank you again, Michael.
Oh, bring it on! We're ready.
That's awesome. All right. Well, thank you so much.